everyone, I'm Bethany from Dogger-Sized Dog Training, and we are working on stay today. Now, we are using treat reinforcement today. We're going to do some work outside with some dogs that have a basic knowledge of the place command. Now, I always use place when teaching stay, and the reason for that is whenever you have a command like go to your mat or go to your bed, or you can just use place, it gives them like a nice invisible boundary where they feel comfortable, they know they're supposed to stay on their square, and it makes teaching stay so much easier. I mean, it can literally be the difference between teaching stay over the course of several weeks versus a couple of days. You can really solidify it that much when you start off by using some type of place command, and then you can filter that out later. If your dog doesn't know a go to your mat command yet, I'm going to have two links below for you in the information, and then I'll also post them here. Is one version of teaching go to your mat is with treat reinforcement, and one version is with leash pressure. Just really quick, if you have a dog that has territorial issues, severe hyperactivity, or any aggression issues, start off with just the leash pressure version, and then you can add food in a little bit later. The reason for that is we really want it to promote calm and not increase a lot of drive. But if you don't really have any of those issues and you're just teaching the basics, definitely go right for the treat reinforcement, and I'll specify that below, as well as links around me. So if your dog doesn't know the place command, you're definitely gonna want to do that first, because that's the key to this whole stay thing. Okay. This is Allie. She was taught stay a long time ago without using place, and it's very loose, very unpredictable. She doesn't listen to it like 70% of the time. So her owners really wanted to solidify the stay. So we started with just a really simple, go to your mat or a place command. And right here you can see us just warming it up. We did work on this for probably about 10 minutes, and then we took a break, and then now we're coming back and we're just warming up with it again. And because it's the first time she had ever not only done a place command but used a riser to do it. And if you can use risers, big dogs or small, those are ideal, especially in situations like this outside, because it gives you much more time to correct and let them know what you want. Now right here, I am treating over and over again in succession to show the dog that if they stay in the same spot, they get rewarded. And I'm just bringing it up to my eye line. I'm not saying anything. I'm not saying watch me or anything. So now I just take a step back and I come right back in and treat. Now I want to do this because I don't want to give her a chance to pop up. Because anytime you move away from a dog, the body language is telling the dog to follow you. They're experts in body language. That's why stay is very difficult for them, because you're moving away from them. So their instincts are telling them to go with you. So that's why we do it this way. Take a step in, take a step out, take a step in. And here I give her a break, and then it's back on to start again. Now once she starts doing it consistently, which she is, I'll start adding in the hand motion, which is what you see right there. And I'm just holding the hand motion. I'm not saying stay yet. And I take a step back, I take a step in. Now I use marker words. And now I'm just going to the side to add a little bit more of an element to it. So I'm saying yes, and then I treat. I hold my hand out, take a step back, yes, and treat. The marker word is key to filtering out treats in the future. I'm a little slow. It looks like I'm having to break up treats. Please have your treats already broken up so you're not slowly rewarding your dog like I just showed right there. Make it quick, make it concise, so they're immediately rewarded. So see how I'm really adding a lot of movement. Now as you can see, she's treat driven and she already has a basic knowledge, but she is not good with dealing with excitement or anything going on around her, which is why we chose an area in the park that was fairly quiet so we could be successful, and we'll slowly add in those elements as we build this up. Now notice she moves right there towards me. She gets too excited. See, I grab the leash right there so I don't trip, and she jumps up. I immediately step in with spatial pressure, and then I hold my hand out again, and then I walk back out. So that was me resetting her. This is why the risers are so great, because you can catch them getting up before, a lot of times before they're all the way off and they're gone. It really gives you an extra couple of seconds to react if they pop up, to help reinforce what it is you want them to do. Now right there, what you saw is I turned my back on her. That's something you guys are going to want to do later down the line. That's not usually something you can do till after several sessions, unless your dog already has a good base like Allie does. Turning your back on your dog, they almost always get up when you're first doing it. So I'm actually looking over my shoulder and taking one step, and really slowly, see how her focus, that's the first time her focus is waned, and she pops up. But I want to keep it really light because I actually dropped a treat right there, so she didn't get in trouble. So hard for dogs when you actually turn your back to them and walk away, because if I'm facing my dog, it is pretty darn clear. I'm using authority, I'm using spatial pressure because I can step back into them if they pop up, and it just makes it, see her attention again right there, it's gone as soon as I turn my back. It makes it so clear that the dog shouldn't move. But when you turn your back, it's like they can sneak stuff, they can get up, they don't have the eye contact anymore. So here I'm just building up me being able to actually turn around and walk away from her. And I'm trying really careful not to accidentally pull on the leash, because that would be my fault, not hers. But those are just a few, a few things that you can build to. And when your dog is finished, you need to have a release word. So if you hold out your hand and then you say yes and give them a treat. The yes isn't the release word. We did many, many yeses over the course of a very, very short period of time, over, even up to a couple of minutes. I'm just rewarding her constantly staying in the same spot. But then you eventually have to release them. You don't want your marker word to mean a release word. So pick okay or finish or break. Those are some of the more popular ones. So you'll come back into the dog. After saying yes, give them a treat, and then release them. And she gets a couple of treats because that was the longest one she had done. Now, I'm not releasing her yet. I'm really making her work for it. We're going to work on seeing if she'll let me go around her. So I'm starting slow. It's one step and then treat, because this is what's so hard for her. She can't keep her back to me, and that means she's not really settling. She's not really comfortable. She's still, pretty energetic, and I want her to really settle. So I'm just going to condition that by going around her and treating. So you can see her craning her head. Now, I tried this before, and she immediately got up and turned. So I really had to do this process of it very slowly to help her understand that she gets a treat if she stays in the same position. If not, and then that was my okay. And then if she doesn't stay in the same position, she gets an or you can do an uh-oh, and then just reset them and start again. There should be no corrections. Let me be really clear. No corrections in this learning phase. Now, the learning phase can be anywhere from 2 to 3 days to 2 weeks. It depends on how much time you put into your dog. It depends on your dog's temperament. But it's not fair to correct a dog when they don't know what they're doing yet. And that goes for a lot of different situations. Right here, we had a bad experience with Happy at this park, and she got ran after by another dog, but she's been a little jittery ever since. So I thought, we'd work on a really strong place and a stay. And you can tell she's looking all over the place. She's looking for something to come after her again. Bless her heart. So in this situation, even though she knows stay, she's not gonna get in big trouble, bad dog or anything like that. For not doing it, even though she knows it, because we're in a new situation with new emotions flooding her. And so our purpose here is just to kind of remind her of what she can do and add some not only stimulus, but in this situation and actually stress, because if you really look, You can tell she's a little stressed out. So I'm trying to build up her impulse control, which will build up confidence. It only took about 3 or 4 times coming back to the park and doing this, and she was fine. She forgot all about it. Now, at that point, if she gets up, I can do a good, strong no, and give her, a leash correction if she has a leash on, and have her go back. But don't do that in the beginning. You can really cause more anxiety and really mess with your dog. Please ignore my German Shepherd in the background. He's being so bad, rolling around in the grass. He's hilarious. Okay. And if anybody else out there is in a situation like this, I just want to point something else out really quick, is that Happy was awfully jittery when we were warming up, and I think the treats actually added to the anxiety rather than helping with her being a little nervous in this park, which was just a day after she had been attacked by another dog, or ran after she didn't completely get attacked. But either way, sometimes treats can work against you. So if you see that happening, there's a few things you need to put in check. Make sure your tone of voice is nice and even. So even when I'm rewarding, it looks like yes, and then I give the treat. And then when I add the verbal, stay, and I give and I back away. Yes, and I give the treat. So there is no, yes, good job, oh yay. There's none of that. If you have a hyper, overexcited, anxious, nervous, fearful dog, you don't want to do any of that. You want to have nice, even tones. And anytime you're working in a new area, you want to have nice, even tones. Otherwise, they tend to really tune you out. And looking back at this video, the next few times I used less treats and more just body language, more pointing than I usually do, more body guiding, and she actually settled down better. Sometimes you really have to watch the treats. They can add a little bit too much. A little bit too much excitement, which can feed into any anxiety or fears or nervousness your dog might have. So there's just a little tidbit, for those of you out there who think that that might be happening to you. You can always email me for more advice on that specifically. Okay, I won't spend any more time on that, but as you can see, I'm doing the same thing with Happy as I did with Allie. I'm starting to create movement. And at this point, I'm actually saying stay. So once they start to really get it, more rolling from my German Shepherd. Once they start to get it, you can say stay, and then back off. Yes. And give treat. Now, once you start to do this, you don't have to just give the treat when you say yes. I could say yes from back here, and I do quite a bit, because I'm just rewarding what they're doing. And because you pair yes with food, you start to create those good endorphins with the word. So you say yes, and they get all, ooh, yeah, I'm doing something good. And so you want to say that at any point, and make sure you don't create too much excitement with it. It's just yes, just really strong. Now, since I went all the way around her and she didn't flip her body around, she gets a bunch of treats. So as you can see, you gradually add more and more distractions, more distance, and more duration. So it's the 3 Ds you're working on: distance, distraction, and duration. Don't overwhelm your dog. Start slow. Work in the house. Work in the backyard. Work in the front yard. And then get to the point where you're at a park and you're skipping around your dog. So I'm just yes. I'm just rewarding for her staying in the same spot. Don't get too hung up on the word stay. You just want them to learn to stay really consistently in one spot. And then when they're doing it without breaking 9 out of 10 times, then you can start to actually add in the word stay every time you do that hand motion, so they also associate it with the hand motion. And then don't forget to always release them from their stay from the mat, which is just okay or break. And sometimes when you're first teaching that, they don't get it right away because you've been working on food only on the mat. So you can just take their leash and just give them a light tug or a little bit of leash pressure to just pull them off, and use a treat to reward them for the okay as well, just to help them understand what that means. So what you're eventually looking for is actually saying stay. and being able to completely turn your back on the dog and walk away. And I'm still keeping my eye on her. Now I'm just saying yes, yes. Now I'm jumping a little bit. Just rapid movements, anything for distraction. Eventually we would go closer, to the people down there playing ball, other dogs, just really building up, that distraction. And if you don't have to go off leash, just get a long line, or if you're really good with a flexi leash, make sure you don't accidentally pull it. Use a flexi leash or a long line to do this safely in group areas, in public areas. And make sure you're not expecting too much of your dog too soon. Within a few weeks, you can filter out the mat. This is Bethany, Dogger Size Dog Training. Info at doggersizela.com. Don't forget to subscribe.